just an outrageous injustice. Her story really gets to the root of so much that is just disturbing and so much that is wrong in our criminal justice system.
When you think you're doing everything you're supposed to do to rehabilitate yourself and show your kids that no matter what happens in life, you can still get back on track.
She was not allowed legally to vote. And because she was a felon in the state of Texas, even though she completely served her time, she had been stripped of her right to vote, which she did not understand.
I had no idea that me being on probation at the time, that I couldn't vote.
When she cast a provisional ballot, that she committed a felony, which blew her mind. That she didn't use a fake ID, she didn't vote under somebody else's name.
I voted, and look where I'm at.
Voting was not so important to her that she would have committed a felony to cast the vote. So they literally charged her with felony voter fraud and have now sentenced her to 5 more years in prison for felony voter fraud.
You couldn't imagine. You couldn't imagine.
It gets to the root of how heartless our criminal justice system is, and also how random it is, because there are so many other cases of something like this happening and someone actually not being treated so harshly.
This woman in Iowa intentionally voted twice for Donald Trump. She was sentenced to 2 years probation and a $750 fine. Former Colorado Republican Chairman Steve Curtis, he was convicted of filling out his ex-wife's ballot in 2016, forging her signature and mailing it in. He was sentenced to probation and community service.
It's absurd that a mother and a citizen who's trying to exercise their right to vote, all people should have a right to vote.
It's quite enough to spend time in jail, right? You don't have to lose your right to participate in the democracy.
Just because I made one bad choice one day doesn't mean that I don't have a voice, you know, and that I'm not smart and that I don't know what would be good for the country.
You're depriving me of certain rights. You know, that could easily lead me backwards.
We should be able to agree that after you serve your time, after you've paid an enormous debt for a mistake that you've made, that your voting rights should be restored immediately.
I'm not aware that paying the price includes taking away your rights to participate in a democratic society. I'm not aware of that. All right, you paid your price, right? You're a citizen of the United States, correct? Yeah, you have the right to vote.
But this is the United States of America, and we have 2 systems of justice in this country. One really for privileged people, and particularly privileged white people, and one for poor people, and particularly all people of color as well.
Voting is something that people should be scared of. That's the message, pure and simple.
I'm wishing that I never voted.
Don't be naive and think there's not another purpose here as well. If you have large numbers of African American men and women not being able to vote, somebody benefits from that.
The divide is extreme, and Crystal Mason found herself kind of right in the middle of that very disturbing divide. We should be fighting to support Crystal, to tell her story, to make sure that she doesn't serve a single day in jail for casting a provisional ballot as a felon who's paid a tremendous debt to society.
I just need true help right now.